Welcome back, welcome back. You're still watching In the Game, and yes, we just wrapped up our top 5 stories. We're getting deeper into the world of sport, and let's make a quick stop, as I did say, in the world of table tennis Nigeria, our focus here. As of last week, for those who follow up with In the Game, we had a special guest on the show, and that should be Nigerian table tennis player Olajide Omotayo. His presence on the show made some revelations, which, of course, was a bit shocking. We had that video there, but let's play it. And when we come back, of course, I've got some reaction coming from that conversation.
Concerning this tournament that I came for. And all these players that you're seeing here, they've played almost all the WTT on the calendar. And it's not easy for you to go to one WTT in 1 year and you want God to create a miracle. The matches that we are playing now in WTT is best of 5, which means you have to win 3 sets. It's a very fast game now that you need a lot of matches to be ready to win a lot of matches. And if you're not playing a lot, thank God that I'm based in France, so I play league matches. So for the past 2 years now, I'm getting better and and I'm ready to take back whatever that is mine in the world of table tennis. But look at other players that are living in Nigeria. The welfare is so bad. You came there, you saw me sitting down with Tosi, Onibamishi, and Ajoke. They were complaining that they couldn't even go to the dining hall to eat, We are hosting tournament. They say charity begins at home, but what is happening to us? What is happening? We need to change. This is the right time.
And that call from Olajide Omotayo says charity begins at home. So let's go home and see what home is saying. Of course, we've got the pleasure of having the Vice President of the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation, Adesoji Tayo, joining us via Zoom right now, all the way from Ibadan, Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning.
Good morning to you. It's great to have you here to create balance on this story. Yes, we did say we had previously on the show Olajide Omotayo, and he made some revelations about the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation and also the welfare of the players. But I would like to ask, standing on that premise, the revelation he made, the video you just watched, can you just give us the current status? What is the state of affairs? What's about the welfare of the players that Olajide Omotayo mentioned?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Nigeria, and we know what is happening in the world of sports. We are struggling. But Olajide Omotayo, what he said is not totally true. WTT is different from NTTF, is different from ATTF, African Table Tennis Federation, is different from International Table Tennis Federation. WTT is like ATP you find in lawn tennis. This is a professional circuit. You are on your own when you are there. Nigeria just hosted the competition. The competition is professionally owned by WTT. And so any player you find on that circuit came in their own name, not as representing any country. They are representing themselves. They are professionals, like he said. And so you pay your way into the program, you pay your way, you pay your hotels. The only thing you get is that you get some subventions, as top players. And then they are winning it at their own. And they do this all around the year. So what ITTF is trying to do is to try and look at what lawn tennis is doing, give the professionals opportunity to showcase their talent, and let table tennis be in the face of the people all around the year. Okay. And so WTT is the business arm of ITTF. So it's not about Nigeria, it's not about Africa, it's not about the world. It's about the player who is a professional. And Olajide Omotayo did not say it the way it is. Okay. I mean, it's not saying the truth. He paid his way to be there. And those ones they had attended before, he paid. And I can tell you, for you to even understand it better, you notice that Osharov played the preliminaries. There are 2 sides to WTT. We have the preliminaries, and then you have the
main draw.
The main draws. If you are ranked, if you're a ranked player and you registered on time, you will be in the main draw. That's why Jide did not play until Thursday, and the game started on Monday. Same for Taiwo Mati. whereas others started playing right from Monday.
Okay.
And if you notice, Osharov, that is world number 14, played in the preliminaries because he did not register on time. You know, I think you understand it. So WTT, it's purely professional. It's not about Nigeria. It's not about Africa.
Okay, let's talk about the training. Now, he did mention in that video, if we go watch further, about the status of the national stadium. He says it's not something to write home about, saying it's in a bad state. They had nowhere to train. They had to go all the way to a country club to play, to train for the WTT contender. So what is the federation doing at this time to handle the situation so that players can come home and be proud that they can train in a convenient environment?
Okay, again, if it's WTT, that's not true. For WTT, every player has a time allotted to them for training. And the training room prepared for WTT is the main hall beside the knockout hall at the National Stadium. It has exact replica of the playing hall you have at a sleep. And so every player that came for WTT had their time slot given to them, every one of them. So you cannot go there to say you want to train when you've used your time. They will ask you to leave the place for the next player that should be there. And that was the experience they had there. And he knows that that's how it is. The moment you are knocked out, and he knows it's not a game of grouping. You play one game. If you're beaten in that game, that is the end. So the moment you are knocked out, you are not allowed to enter the place for training because there's nothing you are training for that particular circuit.
Okay, this conversation goes past the WTT contender about other competition that will be hosted in Lagos, the Africa Cup, the ITTF and all that will be hosted in Lagos. What is the package for welfare? Players that are watching right now need to hear what the package for welfare contains. Contained with the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation.
Thank you very much. 2 weeks before WTT, they were in Durban. Can he say that he was not taken care of in Durban? They were all taken care of in Durban. They stayed in the hotel. We paid their bills. How we got the money, it's another thing entirely. But they were taken care of because that one is ITTF World Championship. And that concerns us as Nigeria because Nigeria represents one of the countries representing Africa. And so they were taken care of. In terms of welfare, we're trying our best. It's not the best. We're not having the best of times. And, you know, it's all over. That's the way it is in sports in Nigeria now. We are praying for it to be better. But as much as possible, we're taking care of our own, you know, players as much as possible. We pay their transport. We pay for their accommodation. We feed them. You know, we pay their allowances, you know. But it's not that it's easy. You know, because it's done privately by individuals, you know, people that really love the game. Those are the people that are dropping the money for now. But then we pray that things will change for better. Okay.
All right. Can you give us the plan, reel out the plan by the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation going to the Olympics? Paris 2024 is just by the corner.
Beautiful. You know, our players are aging and, you know, we need to do more to ensure that we have young players coming on board. And if you notice what happened at WTT, the one we watched in Nigeria, you notice that other countries are upcoming. They're challenging China now. Out of the 4 medals for the WTT, Korea took 3. And China was able to take only 1. In Africa, also, Egypt had taken over from Nigeria. We are like, you know, second best now. And so we're working round the clock to ensure that we get younger players. If you notice those players we brought to WTT, some of those players you saw there at WTT, especially those you mentioned that they were not allowed to go to eat, they were paid for privately by individuals. And so their accommodation could not be paid for, but what was paid for was their registration by Mr. Oshodi. And so they live around Nigeria. We're in Nigeria. They have other means where to stay instead of going to stay at a hotel. You know, we need to save funds. We need to save funds, you know. So those are the things that was what happened. Now we're having young players. You notice young players there. You see Taiwo Mati, you see Abdulaziz from Kwara, you see Kuti from Lagos. These are under 15, under 17, under 19 players that we're showcasing. You know, let them know how the game is being played. Let them go into competition. Let them be beaten so that they too can beat someone someday. And as I'm talking to you, by next week, all of them will be in Morocco. You know, they are moving to youth championship, you know, in Morocco, and then preparing them for African championship in September in Tunisia. So we are doing everything possible to ensure that we have new breed of players coming to join the likes of Haruna Kodri, Olajide Omotayo, so that, you know, we can have, gone are the days when we used to have like 19 players, 19 good players. It's not the same. The game has changed. The speed is different, you know, and so we need to work with, you know, people. They even have scholarships. Quite a number of them now have scholarships to train abroad. So we have some of them in Portugal, in France, like he said, you know, in Germany, trying to train so that they can be able to be world beaters one day like Haruna Kodri.
Okay. I wish this conversation can go further, but time not our friend. Thank you so much, Dr. Adesoji Tayo, for joining us on the show today, bringing clarity to that conversation we had with Olajide Omotayo. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate having me.
All right.